Hi, Gucci Maniacs, welcome back. I figured with the new Masters of the Universe movie coming out soon that I would do a video. This is not all my Masters of the Universe figures. I do have some classics and some 2000X ones, but because I got so many, including crossovers and all, I only want to do the origins and originals. I do have some of these ones I got origins of. I have originals. I just can't find the originals. I know I got them. They're probably over in my unit somewhere. But you see a lot of these mostly if you watch my action figure wrestling videos. I usually have a lot of these setting out in the audience as audience members. Um, a few of these are new, and you have probably hadn't seen them yet in the audience. But these are my origins and originals, and I even included some crossover figures that I have as well. So, and when I say crossover, it's when they crossed over the Masters of the Universe with another universe. I do have two of the new movie figures, and I'll get to those when I get to those. I'll tell you what I think about them. But let's get started with first the original He-Man from the 80s. Battle Armor He-Man from the 80s. Now, I have two of these Battle Armor He-Mans from the 80s, but pretty cool. I just recently got one of them. A buddy of mine saw him at a yard sale and picked him up because he thought I would like it. And I know you're probably watching, so thank you, Nathan. Power Punch He-Man. Now, this one, he takes the little round caps like you use in a cap gun. I gotta find some. And when you pull his waist, this fist will come back, and then when you let it go, it goes makes a noise. At the end of the 80s, almost at the near the end of the 80s, early 90s, they tried to reboot the series where He-Man went on adventures to other planets. He wasn't Prince Adam, he was He-Man, just He-Man. And this was the rebooted version. It did not do very well because He-Man himself is very skinny. The character was reminiscent of the She-Ra line, which I do have a few figures from the She-Ra line. Well, I only have like one from from the original line. The rest of them are from uh, the Origins line. Next, yes, I got Prince Adam in the middle of all the He-Mans, but this is because I wanted to make sure I separated in between Origins and the originals. But this is Prince Adam. Uh, he's true to the almost to the original Adam, except for the difference is uh, maybe the hair and the face was different. In the first Origins He-Man, again, the face sculpt, a lot of people didn't like it because it wasn't the face that they were used to. And they corrected it and did it more closer to the face that everybody liked. To me, it didn't matter. I like the now they don't have the spring action like the original 80s did, but they do have. You can take them apart and switch parts around on them. I like that feature on these Origin figures. Next is Battle Armor He-Man. He came with Battle Cat. I didn't put Battle Cat out. I also got Castle Grayskull. I didn't put that out because it took a long time setting these up to begin with. I set all the He-Man ones up before I went to work today because it only took about 20 minutes to set them up because I didn't have if if I hadn't had to work today, it would probably took me a half a day to set the entire thing up. And then the battle armor, He-Man, this one has like the vac metal on it. You notice he's got a scarred face, the arm is bleeding. He came with a battle damaged battle cat. Next is the sketchbook He-Man. And just like a lot of these other ones, they came with multiple heads and all. He came with two. Both of these would be classified as what they call the Barbarian He-Man, which I had custom made, but since using the head off of one of these two, but since they went ahead and did this one, I went ahead and put the head back on the original head back on the body that I was using. Next is my custom made Wondar or Wonder Bread He-Man. I painted the hair and the sword. I used the original weapons pack black vest, which is most common considered as part of Wondar's uniform. I think I did a pretty good job at creating Wondar. Next is the Thundercats crossover He-Man. I took off the Thundercat type stuff. Now his sword is the power sword, but it also has the sword of almonds mixed with it. And you will see more. I do have quite a few of the Thundercats crossover figures. I got all but two of them. Next is the Transformers He-Man crossover, which you could only get at Target. This faceplate comes off and you see He-Man's face. I'm not going to mess with it right now because I'll probably drop it on the floor and then won't be able to find it. But the sword has the matrix that that Optimus Prime came with. Of course, He-Man is mixed with Optimus Prime. I only got two of these. Um, I do find it kind of odd that when they did the four characters they did He-Man and Optimus Prime armor, they did Skeletor and Megatron armor, which both of those make sense. But then they did Scarecrow, and a bunch of them just fell over. They did Scarecrow in Starscream, uh, in Starscream armor, which okay, I can understand that. They also did and then they did trying to think who the other two were. And I'm trying to think who the other one was. The other one was Man at Arms and Bumblebee armor. And I thought it was weird that they would put Man at Arms in Bumblebee armor. Yeah, technically he is the second most. He's number two behind He-Man. Technically, I guess. But I thought it would have been better if they would have crossed Bumblebee with Buzz Off. Since Buzz Off's a bee and Bumblebee, you get it. I would thought that would have been a better matchup than Man at Arms and Bumblebee, but okay, whatever. It is what it is. Next is the movie version of He Man. This is the new movie, the movie that's coming out. This is the He Man. The only place you can get him is Target. Him and Spike Gore are the only two figures done in the origin or original style figures that they've done I've seen so far, and they're both Target exclusives. I don't know if the rest of the set's going to be Target exclusives or not. Um, the arms and all look good, but the face, I guess it looks like the actor, but I don't know. It's just the outfit. It's just something about the armor. It seems a little off to me. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And the fact they're making a movie is okay. The only problem I have with the movie is they race swap two of the characters, and I'll get to that when I get to those two characters, which I don't have the figures of. Well, one of them I don't mind as much them race swapping, which is I don't mind them doing that with Triclops, but I'll explain a little bit later why I have a problem with them doing that to Man at Arms because because if you don't know the lore behind the Masters of the Universe, you wouldn't understand why I'm confused about why they did it. Now, granted, they get Idris Elba to play Man at Arms, and he's a great actor. I liked him as Stringer Bell on The Wire. He did a great job in the Marvel movies as Heimdall, but he didn't get as much time as I think he should have gotten. But let's move on. Next is the Battle Armor Skeletor, the original one. I do have the original Skeletor. He's one of them I couldn't find in time to do the video. Next to him is Keldor, which is uh, interesting if you know if you know the lore. Keldor and King Randor are brothers, half brothers. And Keldor is the older brother of King Randor, but the people of Eternia wanted Randor to be king. He tries to take the throne from his brother, gets acid, he tries to throw acid onto his brother. He comes back on his face. He goes to Hordak, who you'll see later in the video, and Hordak turns him into Skeletor. And if you know about all that, you would know what I'm talking about. Plus, he got corrupted by the power of the Ramrod, which is his sword. I mean, his little ram staff. And of course, he's got the evil half of the power sword. Next to him is the Origins Skeletor, the regular Origin Skeletor. And next to him is the Origins Battle Armor Skeletor. Of course, next is Teela. And Man at Arms is Teela's adoptive father, but it's another connection between her and Man at Arms that when I get to it, I'll explain why I'm confused why they race swapped Man at Arms. I haven't gotten to it yet because there's two other characters involved with the whole backstory that you'll see why I'm confused. Next is Evil Lyn, the original, and the Origins. This is the only 2000X Origins style figure I have, which is Evil Lyn. I really like this version of her. The purple pops, the lighter skin tone. She doesn't look like she has genres or came out of the episode of The Simpsons. Next is Man at Arms. I do have the original Man at Arms somewhere and the original Teela, but I don't know what happened to them. They're probably in a box somewhere. Next is Coronis. Now, Coronis is who Trapjaw was before he became Trapjaw. If you know the backstory, you know him, and he was Keldor's right hand man. after he turned into after Keldor was turned into Skeletor, Cronus tried to overthrow him. He was thrown into an area where there was all these evil people and things, and he became the he came back with an army, and he ended up paying for it, and ended up having his jaw and one of his arms ripped off in battle against Skeletor, and ended up getting cybernetics and all in him, and ended up becoming Trapjaw. Now here's the Trapjaw. I do have the original Trapjaw, but his legs are really wobbly and needs to be repaired. I need to get more of those little rubber band things that you use. Next to him is Orko and the Orko Origins. Now, I do have a stand for the Orko Origins, much like the stand that you see the next guy next to him, which is technically this is two figures in one. It's Orko, but it's also, if you put the beard on him like I got, he's Orko's uncle. So since I already had Orko, and I'm going to be doing stories using the Masters of the Universe Origins and original figures, I'm going to be telling all stories, I'm going to be tell my own little canon stories, but I wanted to have Orko, one is Orko, one is Orko's uncle, so I could use them both. Next is Beastman. I do have the original Beastman again. Like Trapjaw, I need to repair his legs. And then the original concept art version of Beastman. Now, I do have a Queen Marlena coming. The only place they did Queen Marlena in an origin style, and they did the animation origins style version of her, was in Canada. So I got her coming. When I get her, I will do a video opening her because she has a unique feature. I'll get to that. But if you don't know the backstory, she was a human astronaut from Earth. Her and another astronaut crash land on Eternia. That other astronaut, he gets corrupted by Skeletor, and he lets Skeletor down, and Skeletor turns him into Beastman. That's a backstory there that a lot of people don't know. I thought it was kind of a cool one. I also got King Randor Origins coming too. The original Ram Man, and then the Origins Ram Man, the original and the Origins. Ram Man was one of my favorite figures until I got one of the other figures who you're going to be seeing soon. And I don't have the Origins version of that figure. Well, actually, I have an Origins of one of the two figures that became two of my favorite figures, but I don't have the other one. And both of them are in the new movie from the trailers I saw, and I'm getting excited. And one of those of my favorites is the reason why I'm confused about why they race swapped Man at Arms. And like I said, when I get to it, I will explain it. Next to him is the original Merman, the Origins Merman, and the original comic book artwork of Merman. Next to him is the original Stratos with the little replacement arm things for Beastman, but I put them on him because I was missing his wings. The Origins Stratos, which looks very close to the original figure. Then the first comic book appearance of Stratos, I used one of those. See, I got two of them. I used one of them as the body for my Savage He-Man, which now I got, now that they made a version of it. Next to them is the original Faker. Now, he's got the replacement armor for Beastman. And then Origins Faker. And then the Faker as he appeared in the cartoon. Now I got the glowing eyes because that's how you knew he was Faker. And the other one just looks like if I pop the other head that came with this on, he'll look like just another He-Man. That's why he was so. That's why he fooled everyone into thinking he was He-Man. Now I got two of the uh, original versions of Man-E-Faces. I got the one with the darker tone and the one with the lighter skin tone. Uh, the darker skin tone one is the rare one, and he was a gift from Miss Shirley, who is my brother-in-law's mother. And then the other one I've had since childhood, he does have one of those replacement leg pieces where I replaced the rubber band. Then the Origins uh, Man-E-Faces. If you notice, I did one of them with the human face, one with the monster face, and one with the robot face. And next to him is the original sketchbook artwork of Man-E-Faces. And if you notice, he had more of like an Egyptian vibe to him originally. And I thought that was just a cool looking figure when I was seeing it. He's one of the newer ones to the collection. Next to him is the original Triclops and then the Origins Triclops. Like I said, I don't mind them race swapping Cyclops because it doesn't mess up a backstory like race swapping Man at Arms. Like I said again, I understand they had a great actor to play him. Now I do think they could have gotten Idris Elba to play Clamp Champ and gotten someone else to play Man at Arms. But I understand you don't get an actor of his caliber without giving him a major, more active part, and I can understand that. But it's the backstory which is what gets me confused. The original Buzz Off, and then they did some figures that you could get at like FYE and places like that that were very hard to get. The only one I found was Buzz Off, and that's the version I got right there. And then the Origins Buzz Off. Next to Buzz Off is Stinkor, the original Stinkor, and then the Origin Stinkor. Now, we're coming up onto the character as to why I'm confused why they race swap Man at Arms. And that's also one of my all-time favorite characters, Fisto. And the reason why I'm confused is if you didn't know, Fisto is Teela's father, biological father. And he and Man at Arms were brothers. And that's the backstory. That's why I'm confused because they got a white guy playing Fisto in the movie, and they got Idris Elba playing Man at Arms, and they're supposed to be brothers, not half brothers, full-blooded brothers. The thing is, Man at Arms knows who Fisto is, but Fisto don't remember Man at Arms being his brother, doesn't know about Teela being his daughter, or anything like that. And when I get to her mother, you'll see everything come full circle. Next to him is Jinzutsu, the karate uh, henchman who knows karate of Skeletor, who he's basically Skeletor's version of Fisto. Next to him is Zordak, which if they got Idris Elba to play Zordak, that would have been pretty decent because Zordak's species, they just take whatever shape. They basically wear the same outfits and they all call themselves Zordak, even though they're not, that's not their name, that's just what they call themselves. Not the Cosmic Warriors, that would have been cool if they did that for the movie. Next is Clawful. I am missing his shell. I do not have the Origins one. I would like to get the Origins one someday. I also wouldn't mind getting the cartoon one. They did a cartoon or style one of him too. Next to him is my other favorite character, Mechanic. Uh, he's in the movie. I hope they do right by him. But anyway, he's one of my all-time favorites. Now, I do like the fact that they they did do an Origins one of him, but it came with a vehicle, and I didn't want to pay the heavy price. Now they're kind of cheaper online. I'm going to save up and get one later. And if they do the origin style of him in the for the movie, I will get it. I'm just waiting for it to come out. Whiplash, the original Whiplash. Next to Whiplash is Roboto. I don't like. I've seen Roboto in the movie, and it's too much like the 2000X version of Roboto. I like this version of Roboto. And of course, the Origins version of Roboto. Next to him is Webstore. And then we come to the final part of Tila's family, her mother, the sorceress. If you didn't know, if you didn't watch the original series or any of the other, or know anything about the lore, you wouldn't know that the sorceress is actually Tila's mother. I got two versions of her origin one. The more colorful one came on a card. The white one came with Castle Grayskull. And next to her is Too Bad. Now they did do a pack with Too Bad where you got two figures, Tudra and Badra, and you could, and then they came with this piece, and you can switch parts around and make them any way you want to. But this is the original Too Bad. This is I think this, yeah, this is the flat one. They have another one where the back isn't flat. It has spikes on the back. The flat back is the first wave one. Now next, we have Clamp Champ. I never got the original one. I wish I had. And next to him is actually the first, well, the only crossover of the the Turtles of the Universe, which is Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe. That's the only crossover one I have. Next is Spikor, the animated version of Spikor. I put that arm on there because that's the arm that the original figure had. And then the movie version of Spikor. I do not really care much for this new version of Spikor. Um, he doesn't look right for some reason. I understand that they're not going to get everything exactly right. They're not going to make them 100% comic book accurate, but it would have been nicer if they would have tried harder to stick to the original source material for Spikor. They did. It seemed like they did with Man at Arms as far as the clothes and all he's wearing, and looked like Fisto and Mechaneck from what I saw in the trailers were pretty close to the original source material. Next to him is Retro Blast, which is like a cowboy sheriff type character. I am missing one of his guns that hook into his knee pads. Next to him is Ninjor, the evil ninja of Skeletor. That's right, they were getting so desperate near the end of the original run, they added ninjas. Then again, every single toy line back in that time period, except for Star Wars, had ninjas. Well, I guess technically Jedi Knights were ninjas, but anyway, but they were actually called ninjas. The Ninjor, the original She-Ra. And the funny thing is, they have not done a Andorra in the Origins wave, not even in the cartoon form, which I wish they would, because once I get the king and queen, if they did an Andorra, I would have the entire royal family and it would be a lot more fun. But when I do the Masters of the Universe pick fed, I will have to use the original She-Ra here as Andorra, or I might have to use one of the other ones. I don't know yet. Next to her is the Origins She-Ra. And next to her is Fangman, one of Skeletor's evil warriors. Now, the next figure was a concept figure before they knew what they were going to do. Teela was originally going to be the Green Goddess, and she was going to be the one that gives He-Man his power and all that, but they ended up making the Sorceress. But the Green Goddess, she's the last of the good guys in the He-Man wave as far as origins and original ones go. She's the last non-crossover good guy, I should say. I should say. Next is Hordak. They also got a more animated, accurate version of Hordak here, but I do not have it. Now this one's the deluxe one. His chest opens. He shoots little saw blades out. Next to him is another character from She-Ra, which is Frostera. She's the Ice Princess. Next to her is the original Grizzlor. And they did do an Origins version of Grizzlor with the fur and all. I don't have that one, but I do have the the animated show accurate version, which is very accurate to what he looked like on the cartoon. Next to him is the original Leech and the Origins Leech, and then the cartoon accurate Leech. Next to him is Modulot, which is one of my all-time favorite. I wouldn't say all-time favorites. He's one of the ones where I keep losing parts to him. I'm always finding them. I'm like, oh, here's another piece of Modulot. I don't know how many more pieces to him I need to go. I know there's at least one arm and maybe a couple of legs I need to find. Next to him is Catra. Now this is the animated accurate version of her and the cat that she turns into. Uh, Next to her is Mantana. They did do a new style of Mantana. I don't have it. I have the Origins Mantana, but they did do him. Next to him is Mosquitor. He's a mosquito type character. He also has a head. He has swappable head. He has one that has like a silver metal spike. You can see that part of it there, but he has a head that all that is showing. Next to him is Dragstore. This guy has a ripcord just like with the original Orko. And this is the original Dragstore. I don't have the ripcord anymore. I probably do. I just can't find it. And it's no guarantee the teeth are probably all gone on it. But you jerk it out, put him down on his stomach, and he'll roll. And next to him is the Horde robots. You hit this button right here and they fly apart. Supposed to. The original ones actually flew apart. These just do this. And next, we have the Snake Men, the leader of the Snake Men, King Hiss. I'm not going to go through, take his arms and all off, but up underneath here is several snake heads. Right here's snake heads. Right there's a snake head. He's got several snakes in him. Ratlore. Now, Ratlore has a thing on the back where you push it and his head pops up, but they put something in there to make him sound like a rattlesnake. And then next to him is Tongue Lash. Now, Tongue Lash, he's got a little button, a little knob on the back where you turn it and his tongue goes in and out. This one doesn't work anymore. Next to him is the first of the crossover characters that wasn't He-Man, but Sunman. Now, shortly after He-Man came out, an African American lady said her son had a hard time playing with the He-Man figures because none of them looked like him. And that was before they introduced Clamp Champ. So she created a bunch of there was a few white characters, but a bunch of Hispanic, Indian, and black characters and called them Sunman. And then when they were doing the origins, uh, the same company had the rights to the Sunman logo, so they combined the two uh, franchises, and boom, I had to get him just for that reason. I don't have any of the other characters from his line. They're very hard to find, but if I find them at cheap enough prices, I will get them. And then the Thundercats. Lionel. Now, I have not turned Lionel into the Thundercat version of Lionel. It's still the Eternia version with his Sword of Omens, his chest plate, and all that. Even the hair is reminiscent of the He-Man style. Next to him is Tygor. I have not done him yet either. The only two I'm missing from this wave is Chintara, the female Thundercat, and Battle Cat Man, which is basically Battle Cat, but he's on 2 feet walking around and really looks like a really cool character. Panther. I did turn Panther into the Thundercats Panther. And Mum-Ra. Now, Mum-Ra, I got him as Mum-Ra here, but it was actually called, the box says Skell-Ra, and he has a Skeletor head and a ram headpiece. And this piece right here, this piece right here, you flip around, it's purple, and you can switch them around and make him either Skeletor as Skell-Ra, or you can do him this way as Mum-Ra. And then we get to the first crossover they ever did, which was the Masters of the WWE Universe. I got the ones I will probably use as good guys first, and then I have the bad guys. And one of them, and two of them, one of the bad guys and good guys is the same person. But you'll see when I get to them. First, there's Rey Mysterio, and since he's a high flyer, they made him in the style of Stratos, and I probably would use him as one of Stratos's people. Next to him is, technically he's supposed to be a bad guy, but I use him as a good guy. Kane, as as you can notice, he's kind of done like Roboto. Next to him is the Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, and it's, you flip it, you take this out, and you can do battle damage versions of him. I would probably use this version of Macho Man in my Masters of the Universe pick fed as a Royal Guard, since he's dressed a lot like Man at Arms. Next to him is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He'll probably be in the background somewhere. And then next to him is Goldberg, done similar to Ram Man. He's got the helmet and all that. And then next to him is another battle armor, and that's High Rod Rowdy Roddy Piper. Technically, he's supposed to be a bad guy, but I'll probably end up using him as a good guy too. And next to him is the last one of the good guys, or I would use as a good guy, and that's Becky Lynch. And next to her is technically it's NWO, but if you notice, he's got the Horde symbol. Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah, he's gone mad. He's got the madness. And I will use him as a member of the Horde. Next to him is the Skull Queen, Stephanie McMahon. And if you noticed, she's done a lot like in the style of Evil Lynn. Next to her is The Rock's slow-witted, ignorant cousin, Roman Reigns. Next to him is someone I would always use as a bad guy. Even if I had the good guy version of him, he would still be a bad guy. John Cena, because he sucks. But yeah, that's my Masters of the Universe originals and origin figures and the crossovers. And I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, be good to each other. And as always, I will see you next time in the next video. And as always, I am the man of the hour, the man of power, too sweet to be sour. Every lady's pet, every man's regret. The Six Pill of Elvis. Leadership qualities of Ronald Reagan. Hall of Fame potential of George Brett. Style and profiling of the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, the hardcore heart of Mick Foley. Always right like Rush Limbaugh. The toughness of Chuck Norris, all rolled into one. THEGOOCH. See you soon.